Welcome back to the LCS Countdown. I was tired a moment ago, not so much anymore because we got a very energetic crowd here with us today. Oh!
Always the Jet.
I love it.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know why they're cheering for you.
I appreciate it.
All right, here we go. Yesterday, we did ADC tier list, so we felt it was only right to finish out the bot lane. So today, we're going to be taking a look at the supports across the league. Immediately, the first thing I noticed is actually how much more similar your guys' lists are here for the supports than they were for the ADCs.
Yeah, and we talked about the difficulty of evaluating AD carries because their teamfight output is so tied to what their team does. A lot of times, to me, the support is kind of the thing that sets up the AD carry for his output. So that's easier for me to evaluate. Both in lane, supports lead the plays, and in teamfights, oftentimes are initiated.
And it's a great meta for it as well. There's so much playmaking from the support position. You see a lot of that, and that's why this list, I feel like it's easier to highlight who's performing well and who's struggling.
That said, let us reiterate that this is purely based off of performance from the first 15 games of the split. This isn't who we want on our team. It's not who we're drafting first or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not who's going to play better tomorrow.
Exactly. It's all based off of the evidence of this split up to this point. So getting right into it, you both have Smoothie occupying the top spot.
Yeah, and especially after the first half of this split, Smoothie was one of the front runners for MVP, has fallen off a little bit slightly, but since this is a cumulative effect of the first 15 games, you cannot discount how much pressure this guy has put out in lane, how much he's contributed to his team's strategy, both in vision and in initiation. He has been super solid for this team.
All right, moving right along, the next two guys, you've got him flip-flopped. Aphromoo and Hakuho. Let's start with Aphromoo.
So for Aphromoo, the reason I have him over Hakuho is just how important he is as a member of this team, not just in the playmaking. They feel like they win whenever he pops off on that Thresh, on that Blitz, Rakan, those things. But it also feels like a lot of the games where they get into late-game situations, he is the definitive calming voice that sets up their plans. And so that little bit of intangible factor is why I have him higher than Hakuho, who you don't hear praised as much for, like, he's the guy who's leading our team.
Yeah, and I do have a lot of mixed emotions about Aphromoo and Hakuho, and I had kind of swapped them a few times in making this list. But the thing that moved Hakuho just a little bit above Aphromoo for me was the percentage of shots that he hits, so to speak. So Aphromoo is a huge playmaker. So is Hakuho, actually, when you're paying closer attention to the games in the late game decisions, but he dies a lot less, and I think has fewer failed initiations than we see from Aphromoo. So both of these guys are super great. I think it was a really close decision, but I edged Hakuho a little bit because he makes the bad play less often.
Came down to execution for you, but seeing similar, strengths from both
super good
players. Moving right along, I mean, Biofrost sitting in that fourth position. A lot of people might be surprised to see somebody on a team that had been struggling so much throughout the split be this high on the list.
I think he was one of the clear players still playing pretty well during that period when CLG was struggling a lot. And then when they turned things around, it was due to their bot lane starting to smash, which usually it's Biofrost leading. And then they talked about how they gave him big shot calling responsibilities. They upped what was on his plate, and he stepped up accordingly. So I think he has become one of the better ones by a pretty significant margin in the second half of the split while still being relevant in the first.
All right, so Biofrost stepping up. Let's move right along to Adrian. Of course, the bot lane for Echo Fox has been a point of weakness. We've thrown a lot of criticism their way, and yet he's still here mid-pack.
Yeah, and it is tough to evaluate the Echo Fox bottom lane because so much of this team is centered around the top and mid parts of the map. And Adrian has often been on winning teams, which is, even when you look at some of the underperformance of that team recently, I don't put all of that on Adrian. His laning has been quite good. A lot of his teamfight decisions are very strong, and he's always towards the very top of the league in warding stats.
All right, Mark, let's talk about this last guy here, Ole. He was a front runner for MVP conversations last year, and yet seems to be struggling quite a bit this time around.
I think this pains all of us to put him down this low, but when you look at his impact in games, you look at the stats, there's really not much that you can do to praise him compared to who he was last split. There's clearly synergy issues between him and Doublelift. They, instead of amplifying each other and really improving and unlocking each other, it seems like there's a bit of synergy issues between them holding Ole's playmaking down.
Yeah, there seems to be almost a different player that has the nameplate Ole, depending on the game or the champion that he's on. So he's had one or two games that were amazing, but he's had a lot of mediocre and below average games this split, way more than he's had in the past.
Looking for more out of him. Yeah. Now we're going to do something a little fun. We're going to take you guys' lists from yesterday, going to smash them together. We're going to take your list from today, we're going to smash them together. And we're going to create basically an aggregate, an average bot lane tier list based on where you had put these players. So now I want to get your reaction.
Oh, man.
These guys have not seen this list yet, so they didn't know how it was going to pan out. This means that C9's bot lane is the top bot lane in the league, followed by 100 Thieves and then TSM of all teams, if you can believe it.
So Sven and Mithy look a little high based off of what I've seen from them when you kind of aggregate them together. And I think it's funny that there's a 3-way tie for 4th as well between Clutch teams.
Right.
Is it an exact tie?
I would assume as much.
We put in.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels
crazy.
like Alltech and Adrian probably a little bit low as well. I think they are one of those duo lanes that if you rank them individually, maybe don't stand out quite as much, but they do work together in the environment of Echo Fox pretty well.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with them. And then
I'm a little surprised to see Wild Turtle Stunt be 10th.
Yeah, that is
I'm
one
being
that
honest.
I think just happens based on the cumulative average of the ranks. We both had Stunt 9 as support. There's a lot of inconsistency of where we rank Turtle. Even though when I think of those guys in lane, they win a lot of matchups. I think bottom lane has actually been very competitive this split in the North American LCS in general.
All right, I'm going to push us right along to Jad Stats, another frustrating segment for me and Mark.
Yeah, and actually, Dash, it's been frustrating for you. We have pulled together a highlight reel, perhaps, of your reactions to Miss Jad Stats throughout the year. Let's take a look.
All right, well, now comes a time where I have to step out of my comfort zone a little bit here and hand over the reins to Jad for a new segment entitled Jad Stats. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Damn it!
Okay, fair enough.
What?
Damn it!
Okay, last
This
one.
segment's going to get so depressing.
We're going to end up at
You have
first
on the
correct
board.
Jad Stat.
No!
Damn it!
Damn it! Jad, what do you got for us today?
Damn it!
Damn it! Can we work together on this, Mark?
Do you want?
I hate that you're leaving me out to dry.
I tried
I love this. It's like a team
It's
effort.
cooperative. I'm sorry. It was game.
It wasn't top laner.
It was a top laner.
I'm sorry, Jake.
Gameplay there as
I
well.
need a new partner. Damn it! Damn it!
Mark got it.
Damn it!
Watch it.
I swear to God!
Am I helping you again?
I don't helping me
They're
again. Have you ever helped me in this?
I think you guys can get some of them this week.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
That's why
I've got it on the board. That's why we
right?
stopped
It's on
keeping
the board.
score. Notice that there's no tallies at the bottom of the score.
Yeah,
These are hard.
A more collaborative effort today.
Oh my
Do you
God.
want?
I think
Do you
it's
want
done.
my help or not?
That is going to haunt.
Also,
That's gonna
if
haunt me
anyone wants
forever.
more of that to take it home, there is a ringtone of Dash, a Dammit ringtone.
Damn it!
You can download
I
it.
swear to
Follow
God!
the link.
Damn it! Damn it! What? I swear to God!
You're gonna scare people with that ringtone.
So just, if anyone wants to, you can.
Oh, I'm
Little piece of
so
LCS and
done.
Jazz Stats for
I'm
home.
so done.
All right, we got Jazz Stats today.
I like how you tilt him
Bring
before.
it on, baby.
We've
Can't
had a
do
lot
worse than
of
that.
playoff talk. We only have 3 games left. It is technically possible for a team to make playoffs with an 8-10 record this split. If Team Liquid loses out and still makes playoffs, if COG goes 1-2 or TSM does the same thing. The question is, how many teams have made playoffs with an under 500 record since 2015 when we switched to the 10-team format? How many times has a team done that as 8-10?
Okay, so there's been
How many even splits
5.
have there been?
So that'd be
Yeah,
2015,
there's
2016,
been 6
2017,
splits.
6 splits. Are we okay?
How many
I'm gonna
times has a
go-
team been under 9-9 and made playoffs? So an 8-10 team making playoffs.
2.
I'll say 3. We'll split up a little bit.
It's 2. Dash
Is
actually
that
got it.
is that his first time getting one that I did?
Yes.
That's the first
Can
time
I
he got
drop
one that
this
I did.
mic? I'm really oh man, my
All right.
audio guys just told me I couldn't drop
All right.
the mic. I'm
Next
so
one,
sad
multiple
about
choice. We're talking about top lane keystones. So
Is
it's a
Envy both
gameplay-focused question. Envy both times in 2016 and 2017. Which keystone rune has been taken most by top laners this split? It is a multiple choice question right here. So we have A, Kleptomancy, B, Summonary, C, Unsealed Spellbook, or D, Grasp.
Ooh, this is interesting because so
Oh wait, so this is over the whole split in top lane?
Top laners most selected keystone
God, this is
rune.
so hard because you got the GP Fiora Klepto days,
Yep.
but I don't think that that's been played the most.
no, I don't
So
think
then
so.
you're looking at Airy from Gnar.
But he takes other things too. They take fleet footwork.
Right,
You sometimes
exactly.
take
So
other
that probably
stuff.
got disrupted. So I'm tempted to say Spellbook, but that feels like the obvious answer.
Right, and Grasp is taken in a lot of different matchups by different
Well,
tanks.
and I would imagine more now because of tanks, but not so much in the earlier half of the
wanna
split.
split this?
So
Do
I
you
think
wanna-
it's either Airy or Spellbook, funnily enough.
I'm going to take C then. I grabbed C first.
You son of a...
I already took it.
Dash, are you going to go with
But
Mark
that means
for your own
no,
answer?
I want to go with
All right,
C.
if you-
Okay, we're going together.
Yeah,
we live and
let's
die
do it.
together. Let's go. C.
You should have split it. It's Airy.
Damn it!
It always happens that way.
I don't know. Whenever we try and do
You're the
anything,
worst. 2 for 2.
You're worse.
Whenever you try and do anything,
Stop listening.
I
to
thought
you.
you were going to get these ones. I thought the first few were actually somewhat easy, so good job getting one and almost the other one. This one's definitely harder.
All right, let's do it.
It has to do with executes in regular season NALCS history. So someone running into a turret, someone dying to Rift Herald.
Well, I know there were 4.
Is this one?
I can think of one game where there were 4.
Random guess. I'll give you a hint after you throw out a random number. Like, just try and guess it.
I'm going to go
17.
All right. Those
we
are
were
wrong,
close.
both of them. I have a hint for you.
Okay.
So it's the same number as M&M's in this jar.
Okay, hold on. Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
You can take a look.
Yeah,
What's the volume of the jar? How big is the average
Right.
M&M?
Yeah.
We're
I'm
about
gonna go with there's
full, so
10, 11, 12, there's about 15
20. I'm going to 26.
times.
There's 26
15
M&Ms
times
in there.
5.
I don't know, dude.
So that's going to be
kind of question
75.
is
I'm going to go
that?
no, that's less.
How
than
many ping
75.
pong
I'm
balls
gonna
can you
go-
fill up a bus
wait,
with?
I'm going to go 50. 50.
81.
81. Oh, 75 would have been a good guess.
Would have been close.
I should have trusted my mental math days from
Yeah, you can keep
from
those
elementary
because you
school.
got the only correct jazz stat.
I mean,
today
peanut
anyway.
M&M's,
Or
solid
give some to
choice.
our producer, Ace. That's
We
it.
got to
Best
push
guess.
forward. We're
Go.
running out of time, guys. Let's take a look at predictions. I just also want to point out that wait, we tied. We tied.
No, I didn't get any right. You
He
beat
got
me.
none right.
I thought you went for.
No, you beat me, buddy.
Oh, right, we both went spellbook. I beat Mark, guys. I'm the better analyst. All right, let's take a look at predictions. What you guys got for today? Only one difference, and it comes in
picked TSM?
game 2.
You picked TSM?
Oh my God.
Chat, you're surprised he picked the same
That
team
was my
as you somewhere?
upset pick.
You picked FlyQuest? How about that?
Yeah, let's talk about Golden Guardians versus FlyQuest.
That's a tough game for sure. I just thought Golden Guardians had been on this big upward trajectory, and they looked almost like an early split version of Golden Guardians yesterday, whereas FlyQuest, they had every reason to win that game against COG, so I'm thinking if they get that lead again, they can close against Golden Guardians.
I agree. Golden Guardians looked bad yesterday. They were playing 100 Thieves, who are a pretty good team. They've been winning a lot of games recently, so I didn't hold that against them too much, whereas FlyQuest is like, how did you lose that game? Which looks pretty bad to me.
So that's going to decide who's ahead going into last week of predictions. that game.
Exactly.
Here we
One
go.
of you is going to have a 1-point lead going into the final week, but we want to do something fun as well and take a look at your guys' prediction percentages based on the teams that you're predicting. So, to
93.
explain this a little bit more fully, any game that one of these teams has played in, obviously each of these guys has made a prediction. This is their accuracy predicting win or loss that team's game. So, Jat, 93% prediction rate on Optic games is pretty big.
And I'm worse at predicting COG games than
Your
COG
faith
is at
blinds
winning
you.
games.
That's pretty, yeah, you are.
1/3 of COG games I predict properly. That team
So what's
just have
interesting to
smash.
me, Jad, is how big your spread is from 93% to 33%, whereas Mark's sitting here 73 to 40.
Yeah, like my fifth, sixth place team's at 60. That's his fourth. I would like to, extrapolate.
What does that mean?
I
I think that's the question.
I'm
right?
smarter. I'd like to say
You're more consistent.
right.
More consistent.
And then
to
Jack
say the
just
least.
randomly messes up CLG because he's biased.
All right. Anyway, more than anything, just kind of fun stats to look at, but I'm going to keep chugging along. We get to that point in the game where, hey, sometimes it's up to big plays to make it happen. Sometimes, it's the macro game or the knowledge or the understanding or the synergy and the teamwork. Sometimes there are outside forces at work. Sometimes it's an analyst who will just will you to victory, only to say, I'm helping. Brought to you by State Farm.
I don't know why I get the hate here from this team, but apparently I'm calling them out. So this is my chance. They're like, please win this game. I am picking them now.
All right, how do they do it? How do they
Oh my God, Mark said we would win. Really? I'm not even kidding you. Oh my God. Guys, this is the time. This is it. We got to do it for Mark. I'll do it for Mark.
Adrian that could be a kill. That could feast. That could be a dead. Adrian, the chop comes in. The damage. Finally, a kill comes through. 3 to 4. Flashing away. But they got Phoenix. QSSU's the duel against Apollo. Who's going to win it? Flashing away. Femovin now in the play. The ulti coming across. The MR is so high, but the damage comes through.
There's. Go in. And. Oh, Maxi! Holy. Marx is the savior. Maxi! Let's go.
How does it feel? There it is. Take a bow.
If any team
one
would like to, pay me maybe to predict them.
I don't know about that one. You are the first caster to get 9 helping, though. We're going to move on to win conditions. The final thing we do before we kick off the day, CLG versus Echo Fox in the back here. We're going to start with Echo Fox. Let's talk some win conditions.
So despite their recent loss yesterday, which was one that we kind of talked about, not really following the trend of their bot lane getting smashed, that is still a concern for me, especially with how CLG is playing. So the thing they need to do is find 8.4's Kalista. That was a pick that they were using previously to get a lot of autonomy in their bot lane, get a good matchup, and then they could just leave it on an island while they focus the top side of the map. This patch, that feels like Caitlyn maybe, but they want something that's going to be safe and strong in the lane that they don't need to babysit very much.
All right, Jat, what's the response?
Yeah, so for COG, I think they have been winning around bottom lane, continue to make plays around bottom lane and Biofrost, but also to keep it simple. Like, like, don't pick a bunch of weird champions in the mid lane for Huhi. Don't try and gank top lane 17 times before 6 minutes. Like, just play around bot lane and get to team fights, and they'll be fine because they're good players, and they've shown that during their win streak.
All right, narrowing in on the last few games of the split, we're going to toss it up to the casters to get us into the games.
Thank you.